If you're just as passionate about photography as I am, this might seem familiar. Sometimes you pass by a place that, at least when zooming by, looks like there is a shot hiding there. A really beautiful picture. But you don't really recognize it, since you're doing your best keeping that sheet metal box on the road, and while doing so, to quote a dear friend, ideally keep the rubber down and the paint job upwards. And so you keep passing by, asking yourself, is there something here? Well, there's just one way to find out. Stop and have a look. Today's video starts exactly there. In fact, I've been here a few years back for another video. This time it's not about poppy flowers. It's way too cold for them anyway. Hello everyone. I'm just taking a quick break on my way back home because every day I pass by this location and it's luring me in. Especially in conditions like these, when there is a bit of fog or mist in the air. And I'm usually just driving past this area, seeing this from behind the windscreen. And I've noticed in the past that oftentimes I find it interesting when zooming by, but not so much anymore when I stop and have a closer look. And with this, I want to have that look now. I'm talking about... This tree right there, because it's beautifully separated from pretty much everything standing there all alone. And we're actually having a slight bit of fog in the air, which helps separate the tree from the surrounding and makes it stand out a bit more. And so I figured I'd simply stop today, aim a proper long lens at it, and check it out. I'm getting the feeling this is one of those occasions where it looks interesting from the car, but once you're there, it's not as exciting anymore. But I'll take that look anyway. I've got a 300mm attached, well, a 70-300mm, and that's giving me pretty much exactly the composition of the scenery that I'm looking for, and separate the tree as good as possible, making the most of the fog.
Dass ich die ganze Szene schön komprimiere und den Baum so schön groß und freigestellt im Vordergrund durch den Nebel, der in der Luft ist.
I'll put up the tripod real quick. I'm actually running out of light here, which was to be expected. Once I leave from work, there is not too much sunlight left to work with. But I wanted to make this stop anyway, and I can, well, simply expose longer, but that'll require the tripod. Okay, now. Admittedly, this is neither the most interesting composition, nor is it a shot to write home about, but I'll run the experiment anyway. I'm already here, so I might as well now invest the time and find out, and rest assured whether this is something or not.
Mich zu fragen, ob sich das lohnt, hier mal anzuhalten. Weil jetzt habe ich es gemacht, jetzt weiß ich dann Bescheid. Ich setze den Baum jetzt
I'll take 2 shots here. And the first one will be perfectly symmetric with the tree dead center, while for the second one I'll place the tree on the left of the grid lines. Well, not exactly on the line, but slightly off towards the middle. After all, the golden ratio isn't 2:1, but more like 1.6:1.
Und würde ich das jetzt...
And if I put the tree right on the left grid line, that would feel a bit too tight, or rather, that'll feel unbalanced.
Das würde sich unausgeglichen anfühlen.
I'd have the visually relatively heavy tree on the left side and really just a big empty space on the right.
Und wenn ich ihn aber auf...
But when I push it off the line ever so slightly and more towards the ratio of 1.6:1, it becomes a lot more appealing, I think.
Dann wird das irgendwie ein schlüssigeres Bild, habe ich das Gefühl.
Turn on the timer.
Also ich bin
I am
unentschlossen.
undecided.
Es ist jetzt
It's really not the best shot in the world, but I'd really like to capture at least a bit of the winter in this area. We were just blessed with another hint of ice and snow, but you really never know for how long that will stay and when it'll vanish again. And so I'd really love to grab a few shots before that happens. And I hope that was but a sneak peek into the video, because I really feel like shooting trees.
Weil ich Bock habe, Bäume zu fotografieren. Ich habe da in der Umgebung.
I found one or two more interesting trees or group of trees in the surrounding area, which I'd really love to photograph. And even better when it's in conditions like these.
Am liebsten eben in diesen Bedingungen, wenn es noch so ein bisschen verschneit ist.
I'm kinda sticking to my plan from yesterday and kinda not. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I initially planned to get out here for sunrise. Yeah, I even woke up relatively early today and was fairly motivated actually. But then I took a look at the weather forecast and the cloud forecast and figured there was absolutely no reason whatsoever to get up early at all. I mean, east is behind me, and technically speaking, the sunrise happened like 20 minutes ago. That was nothing. We got another slight covering of snow last night, and we're close to freezing point. When I left the city this morning, it was slightly above zero, and I wasn't sure what it would look like out here in the countryside. I could wish for some heavier snowfall and all, but really I'm liking this already. It's proper cold, the snow doesn't melt away. That little shed back there was a nice surprise. I didn't even have that on my radar. I came out here this morning initially just with this alley over there in mind, with this group of large trees left and right from the road, right where I parked.
Rechts und links vom Weg, da wo ich vorhin da drüben geparkt habe.
And I didn't want to take the shot there right away, but only when I get back to the car. But since I don't know if someone will take their dog for a walk there, I took a backup shot right away just to secure the pristine, untouched covering of snow.
Mir die unberührte Schneedecke zu sichern.
Because that's an important thing to keep in mind when you're out shooting in the winter. Always think about what you want to shoot and where you want to walk, or you might end up ruining your shot with your very own footsteps.
Euch eine Komposition versaut. Genauso wie hier.
Just like here. I'm thinking about taking a shot from this path. Initially I had the impulse to just walk right down there, but it's better to stop and ask yourself if you really want to do that. Or rather, if you want to take a shot there first, and it's probably better to not step across your composition. I'm thoroughly enjoying the morning, even though there is really nothing special happening. The paths are all long and straight, and I really can't make out any compelling compositions. For deer I try to find again with a long lens, but they're too quick for me. I follow the path to the next intersection and take a look around. To the left? Nah. To the right? I don't think so. Straight on? This isn't going anywhere, I guess. So, back to the car. I've still got one more idea. And while we're at it, I could take a shot of you for once. We're spending quite some time together after all. On the drive out here I found another tree close by that looked pretty interesting, but since there is no path leading here, I figured I'd save that for the next time I'm out here. Which you've already watched, remember? Had I known what would happen in the meantime, I would have walked over there today. Well, you're all the wiser in the end. After quite some time, I let the drone rise again and enjoy the cinematic footage it gets me. And I love how it enables me to show the geometric shapes and forms of the fields surrounding me. Ain't I lucky. There was no one out here taking their dog for a walk. And it was smart. I brought some warm tea. I feel like in this video I don't really have any, message or tip or advice for you or anything. I feel like today is simply me being out and about. Classic photo walk, if you will. Let me know in the comments how you like that. If there's anything you're missing, if you'd prefer having, getting a closer look into my ways of working, any advice or any, I don't know. Or if you're happy just joining me on my outings, watching me do what I do while I do it, without any sort of, 5 tips for sharper images or something. And I really like... Alright, if there was any one of you guys, that made me happy. And I really like that my final composition for today is right here where I parked my car, so I can just leave my stuff in there. I would have wished for a bit more fog for this actually. I mean, behind me you can see what I'm talking about. The Deister is looking pretty alright. But it's not enough to properly separate the large group of trees from the hill and from the line of trees in the background.
Dass da genug Nebel wäre, die Baumgruppe hier vorne wirklich zu separieren.
So I might simply grab the long lens again and maybe even walk further back across the road over there. And for when that happens, I really hope I didn't ruin my shot with my own footsteps. I really love this path with a large group of trees right there. The line of trees in the background is running perpendicular to the path, but in this case I'm really not bothered by that, since the image space ends right with them. The main actors in this composition obviously are the group of large trees, while the line of trees in the back is nothing more but a reoccurring pattern that sets the scene a bit and gives some context. Man, I'm really looking forward to coming back here when it's a bit warmer. Basically like now when I'm publishing the video, and not 2 months ago when I shot it. I hope you did enjoy getting a hint of winter once more and are actually chilling out, having a cold drink in the hammock or something. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it, subscribe and hit that bell, and I'll see you in the next one.